From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon and thanks for joining us on the Noon News. I'm Diane Parker. Miller has the weekend forecast, plus winter weather conditions hit part of the state, closing a scenic highway. But first, our top stories. We're continuing to track substance abuse issues here in Montana. As MTN's Casey Conlon tells us, some of the area's top law enforcement officials are getting together to discuss ideas on how to fix a growing problem.
Ask any health or law enforcement organization in Billings and they'll all tell you that substance abuse is the #1 problem in this city. It has been for years, but it's worse now as drugs find their way into every corner of our community, including right here inside the Yellowstone County Jail.
We're able in most cases to be able to head that off before it gets in, but once in a while something gets through.
The numbers are staggering. In an interview with MTN Thursday morning, Montana Attorney General Austin Knudsen said meth is still king. The state saw a 100% increase in violations from 2014 to 2018. But the number of fentanyl overdose deaths is up over 1,000% in the last 6 years.
We've seized this year already over 111,000 dosage units of fentanyl. It's not stretching the truth to say probably enough to kill every man, woman, and child in the state.
Yellowstone County Sheriff Mike Linder says the jail is his most critical mission right now, and getting substance abusers help instead of incarcerated is key.
We got a 434-bed jail. We got 560 or 570 people in there. Whatever we can do to divert. Then on the other end, when people get out of the jail, that they have a goal or some kind of help, and that's what SAC, or Substance Abuse Connect, has really done for us.
Substance Abuse Connect is made up of just about every major group in the county that deals with the crisis. Founded in 2017, they announced some successes at a Thursday press conference, including a new homeless outreach team.
They have served over 170 clients, and 71% of those have moved to recovery and housing and/or received treatment services.
School District 2 Superintendent Greg Upham spoke about the need for SAC programs in schools.
We are in a war. There's no doubt about it. And what I've seen with the way our youth are targeted, I just shake my head when I see it.
Rimrock Foundation CEO Lynette Kosevich summed it up with her initial reaction to this question.
Have you seen more patients with these types of problems, especially over the last couple of years?
It does seem like things are a little bit more in a higher crisis situation, and the need for SAC has never been greater.
That's why so many were in attendance Thursday. SAC is on track, but there's much more to be done. In Billings, Casey Conlon, MTN News.
We're following up on coverage of a homicide reported over the weekend. An 88-year-old woman was found dead in Clinton on Sunday, and the Missoula County Sheriff's Office is calling it a homicide investigation. Officials told MTN News that no one is in custody. Law enforcement is not giving out any new details, and the woman's family have declined to comment. Deputies responded to a report of an assault on Sunday along Donovan Creek Road. 88-year-old Delphine Farmer was found unresponsive and pronounced dead at the scene. Officials say there is no threat to the public. This noon, President Biden is warning that Hurricane Ian could be the deadliest hurricane in Florida's history. After downgrading to a tropical storm yesterday, Ian is back at hurricane status as it moves north. Ian hit Florida's Gulf Coast as a Category 4 storm, flooding entire neighborhoods, destroying homes and buildings, and leaving millions without power. Search teams have rescued hundreds of people trapped by the floodwaters. A portion of the Beartooth Highway is closed for winter weather conditions. At 8 a.m., the section located east of the park's north entrance between Red Lodge and Cook City shut down this morning. Heavy snow and hazardous driving conditions are expected throughout the weekend. The highway will reopen as conditions allow. A reminder for all the bird hunters out there, highly pathogenic avian flu was detected in wild birds and domestic poultry in Montana earlier this year, and there are new cases showing up this fall. Bird hunters should follow these simple precautions when processing or handling wild game. Do not harvest or handle wild birds that are obviously sick or found dead. People and equipment that have been in contact with wild game birds should avoid contact with backyard poultry. Wash hands with soap and water or alcohol wipes immediately after handling game or cleaning bird feeders. Wash tools and work surfaces used to clean game birds with soap and water, then disinfect with a 10% solution of chlorine bleach. Human infections with bird flu viruses are rare, but can occur usually after close contact with infected birds. And that's a look at some of the day's top stories.
Happy Friday, everybody. TGIF, the last day of September. Tomorrow we wake up, it's going to be a brand new month. We're into the final quarter tomorrow of the year. 3 more months left to go. I love this time of year, especially when the weather wants to cooperate. We're going to have fall-like weather as we get across the weekend. Area of low pressure going to have a chance to dump a good bit of rain across portions of Montana down in northern Wyoming. And we've also got some cooler air coming in to bring those temperatures down. Look at that. May not get out of the 50s for some spots. Over to our east, though, still trying to get into the 70s. It may take a little while longer for that cooler air to come in, but don't worry. You'll be cooling down as well. There's that area of low pressure that's going to be our weather maker for the next couple of days. We'll tell you all about it coming up.
With the November election right around the corner, the Billings YWCA and the Montana Department of Justice is reminding survivors of domestic violence that they can register to vote with keeping their address confidential from their abusers. I had the chance to visit with the organizations about this lifeline to Montana victims.
And the more trapped I became, the more I felt like I was just going to be a slave for the rest of my life. There was no getting out. Towards the end, he was threatening to kill me and the kids.
Victims of domestic violence like this Montana survivor often live in fear. It's a barrier to voting, as registering to vote can put a bullseye directly on them as their address is publicly listed.
Victims of domestic violence, sexual assault and stalking live in fear of the person who harmed them, and having a place that they can live and know that their address will be completely confidential gives them such a sense of peace.
The Department of Justice launched its address confidentiality program back in 2006. It works by providing victims a substitute address with a free first-class confidential mail forwarding service.
By using the substitute address, which is actually our address in Helena, a abuser may be able to track them down to Helena, but then we protect their actual physical address.
The Helena team has come face-to-face with abusers.
It can be some pretty intense conversations at times.
Right now, the address confidentiality program has 61 participants enrolled.
There's certainly a lot more victims in Montana than 61 people. The victims that are in our program are scared.
Jones says the program works best for survivors who are moving to a different town and completely restarting their life.
If you're moving from Helena to East Helena, for example, this program is probably not going to help you that well. Same with our reservation communities. It's a tight-knit communities, and too many people know people.
To apply for the program, the DOJ requires proof of being a victim of domestic violence, sexual assault, or stalking, such as a protection order or police report, and proof of Montana residency. If you or someone you know are eligible to register, visit your local MTN website.